We continue our discussion of developments in the Lebanese Revolution with author Chadi Ghaith on location in Beirut, Lebanon. He's agreed to speak with Druze Times, and if you haven't tuned in before, you don't want to miss this interview. Chadi is a spiritual fiction writer and a person with extraordinary insights about the Lebanese Revolution. He's been protesting on the streets with countless other brave Lebanese citizens for well over 3 weeks now. Chadi, thank you for joining us. Do the politicians still enjoy the support of their followers, or are there cracks forming in their groups?
Well, the politicians are not really as popular anymore. You have two different models. You have the model of the politician who still have, his immediate supporters, the people he pays money to keep around, and the people who threatens through their jobs and whatever service he gave them in return for their votes or allegiance. So those people, are inside totally with the revolution, but they cannot really express it very well because they're afraid. And then you have the people who are just normal supporters who have been lost. Sorry, the normal supporters who are no longer, able to, or they have prioritized the Lebanese flag over their party flag, and they have decided that Lebanon is more important than their allegiance to his party or her party. And then you have, the rest of the people who are just totally freed from the politicians. So they're cracking, if that's the question. They're cracking from the inside.
For those that work for the corrupt politicians, are they unconscious or in denial, or are they aware of their wrongs and just doing it for money?
Those people who are still, around the politicians have interests. They don't really love the politician that much. I mean, there are very few politicians that are really loved, by some circle of people. But, most of them, they are seeked after because of what they offer people. And especially they offer people in return for voting for them at the time of the elections. So they hold them from their hands that hurt, as they say in the Lebanese terminology. They hold them at the hand that hurts. So this is the reason why some people remain around those politicians. There are some people who are still attached, but the good news is that those who are still attached are of the older generation. So let's say if we're talking Tayyar al-Watani al-Hur, or the Lebanese forces, or Jumblat or Birri or whatever. So they got those people who are older, who have really been around for a long time, for them to break that chain inside and feel free from those politicians. So the politicians have become part of their memory system, part of their identity and all. And then you have the new generation who are totally, like 99% of the new generation is just all for freeing themselves from every political allegiance and every party, and just believing in Lebanon. So that's the good news about this whole thing. It differs a little bit with Hezbollah. Okay, Hezbollah, they do have a system where they control people at a young age, and put in their minds ideologies that relate to their afterlife, or the value of serving their cause, or something like this. So they do have a little bit more of a, I don't know, I don't want to call it brainwashing, because this is their beliefs, this is their convictions, their ideology, but I would say it's not a healthy thing.
What has changed in Lebanon since this revolutionary wave of the past few weeks? Are there new freedoms for the people? Have we shattered some of the red lines yet?
There are some general things and there are some specific things. The general things are, the fear of that sectarianism has planted for 30 or more years. This fear of the other has been broken totally. And so you can, if you go down to everywhere where the revolution is taking place on the streets and everywhere, you find like so many different people from different religions and ranks of society, and they're all like together, forgetting all about their parties, their political allegiance, previous political allegiance, their religion or religious biases, and even their cultural biases as well, and social statuses. So you find someone, coming from the suburbs who's never been to downtown maybe, and then you find the one who's wearing Prada and Louis Vuitton. So you have all these people together under one flag, and this is something beautiful to see actually. So and then the other thing that has been broken is because so many movements happened before, demonstrations that were aborted. They were always aborted in the same way. It's like one political party leader would insert people inside the demonstration to make chaos and deviate the demonstration from its original purpose. So that's how it always ended, until people would come out of the demonstrations feeling worse, like feeling that it's like they want to scream, but their voice can never be heard, because in this sectarian country, where everyone has his claim of the pie, there's no way, that their endeavor would be seen as fresh as it should be. It's always seen as, okay, this is the Sunni against the Shia. Okay, this is the people of X politician against the people of X. So it's always like that. So what happened now is that things are more like people are coming and they're saying, listen, you cannot silence us this time. Every time they try to abort this revolution in any way possible, something would happen and it will revive it. And people are so now aware to the tricks of the politicians. They're so aware to the games that they try to play and the cards that they pull to try to abort this revolution, and they're lingering and waiting for them and ready for them to return the slap back again. So, and the revolution was a big slap for the politicians as well, huge slap, because they have betted on people's dormancy. They've betted, they've capitalized on people's silence, and they never saw that coming. And it was like a big slap for them, and they're all now, trying to show their best to the people, and this is only the beginning. Other things that are accomplished in details, apart from the general stuff, there are so many things in details. The first thing, the resignation of the government. This is the first time in history where the Lebanese government is taken down by the people, and this is something that will be a trend for the future. So now we have something to rely on. Each time something we don't like as Lebanese people, now we understand what we can do, what we're able to achieve. We're able to see for ourselves what we can do if we really, really unite under the flag, the Lebanese flag. And for the first time, you feel that Lebanon is yours. Like if you go down the streets, you used to have that fear of the other, and that thing that Lebanon is like a hotel room where you can just throw your shit everywhere, and just in the end, you know that you're leaving it somehow because it's not yours. Right now, it's more like Lebanon is ours. People are loving their country. They're beginning to see what it means to keep it clean. They're beginning to see, and this is happening even amidst this whole chaos of the revolution. People are cleaning up very well, and this is so great. This is a feeling that you get on the streets. that this country is ours after all, that we do have hope. And that many specifics happened, like a lot of compromises that's already been done. Many things, many corruption files have been taken to the legal system and reactivated. They've been dormant in the drawers of the judges for ages, and now they're taken out of the drawers. And taxes that have been eliminated, I think, more than 70 taxes they were planning to implement that were aborted by the people. This is only the things that come to mind. There's so many other things. So I'm going to send you a list actually that I have of the accomplishments so far.
Sometimes it seems hopeless because of the intimidation coming from those in power. The Lebanese still cannot speak their mind, fearing reprisal or punishment from those in charge. Is this unchanged, and will it ever change?
Well, if you've been watching the Lebanese stations, TV stations lately, you would see that the Lebanese people have broken the taboo, of being afraid to speak about their politicians or corrupt leaders in a very honest and brutal way, even. No, I think this revolution has broken that whole fear of talking about things just as they are. There is some kind of a friction, when you talk about the leader of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, in the revolution. The youth, the Shiite youth, do not really welcome that at all, and they can be a little bit aggressive in their reaction, even violent. So he still has a hold over them because he is like a religious figure, not only a political figure. So that's when you mix religion with politics, you get such a strong combination. That is a little bit problematic. But the rest of them all are being targeted. They're even unwelcomed in the revolution. So many of them tried to go down and cash in on this revolution, and they've been kicked away. Some of them has been splashed with water. They're very unwelcome. They know that their place is no longer with the people. Their only places that they're in the temples they have built through the money they have stolen from the Lebanese people and the empires they have abroad. But the good thing is that all the Lebanese people all around the world are now aware of their corruption, and they're all one say against them. So I think every country they're going to go to, they're going to have some haters and some people who will always tell them that they're corrupt and remind them of their crimes. I'm talking about a scenario if they ever evacuate this country for good.
Are we in a different phase of the revolution, if you will, or has it simmered down? Like, what might we expect from the people next?
As I mentioned in reply to the first question, I believe we are evolving. This revolution is evolving. It's taking on different layers and different faces. The one thing that is so true about it, that it's something that started that will never end. It's like a flame, an Olympic flame. So it's gonna keep going on and on, taking different shapes and morphing out as well throughout into something more and more and more focused and targeted. Because it started out just decentralized, chaotic, and then the people, in this age of social media and information is so available so quickly. Everyone is so connected, even though they are so dispersed. So this connection has brought them into understanding what's going on very quickly and acting very quickly. So let's say the people who are blocking a road, and then they see the reaction in Tripoli for that, and then they see it's a bad reaction and some people are hating them for it. So the Tripoli people decide not to block the road. So the other people in the south, they decide not to block the road, and the other people in the north, they decide not to block the road. So you see, they all pick up what's going on and try to modify what they're doing so that they will remain, winning the general consensus of the people and winning the general support. So they are very smart, extremely smart people. We're talking the Lebanese people, they're smart. We're not talking about one person or a party or a group. They were talking about the Lebanese people. Those are smart people that they have suffered so long and they really feel that this is their only chance. And so they don't want to blow it, as they say. They don't want to blow this chance. So they are just, focusing, trying to modify things, trying to target things, trying to add pressure systematically on the government and what's and institutions that are partners in corruption with the government, so that they can reach a point where they force change, because they know that they cannot really ask for change or demand change from those people. Those people are not going to hand them down their corruption money, or those people are not going to dismiss their empires so easily. So we're talking about a very, very, very vicious battle, and we're talking about a will that is, a strong will that is willing to just go till the end. That's how I see this revolution. That's why I believe in it. That's why it's really, I feel like it's my baby, as they say.
How much more fight and determination do the people have to stay the course?
The politicians are beginning to be, yesterday, Sanyura, ex-Prime Minister Fuad Sanyura, he had to be questioned by the, I don't know how you call the person, Mudda'i al-Am al-Mali. I don't know in English what that would translate to. Have to Google it. So he had to be questioned. Some of them, their assets here in Lebanon are on the way to be frozen, their bank assets or something. Uh, we're heading there. Okay, that's the best part. We're heading there.
Do you think any of the corrupt politicians will be held accountable? And if so, how and when?
It's very important to understand that unless we really make our law system independent, and no longer the judges are being, assigned into their jobs by politicians or leaders, nothing can be accomplished. So we have a big battle in the legal field. That is like a side parallel battle to what's going on politically. The legal field, I can't emphasize that more. There's so much corruption in the legal system in Lebanon. You know, it's like the system is made or tailored to protect the bad guys and always, torture the good ones. So if you're like a good guy and someone attacks you, someone do something wrong to you and you resort to the legal system, the legal system will give him so much time from, they will schedule your hearings like months apart. A simple stupid thing could take a year or three, from a year to three, to be resolved. And with along those terms, the righteous guy is always losing and the bad guy is always winning, because of the time and because of the how many phone calls that those judges get, and how much it's how much they can stretch things to make them fit certain demands and services from people who have say over them. So it's like it's a very, very dirty, corrupted system. And so unless we have some sort of a committee of independent judges that they're just there to just see what those politicians has done and to interrogate them in very, very, very objective way, and lead all this somewhere where we can get our money back, maybe, or we can get them to be behind bars. I don't know, something that will show the people and that there is a legal system alive, and that will regain our trust in the legal system. That's my, if I had to wish for one thing out of this whole revolution, I'd forget all about the details, the government resignation and all about, everything else. And I would just say we want an independent legal system.
We've been speaking with Mr. Chadi Ghaith in Beirut, Lebanon. Thank you for your insights and your time with us today.